Hello, everyone. Happy Monday morning. We are live from St. Pete Beach. I just combined the two words, St. Pete Beach. We went on quite a journey this morning, but we are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a little bit cloudy this morning, but I am so happy to have my toes in the sand and to start out my Monday morning with all of you. So thank you so much for being here. We got lots to talk about this week. And just want to point out, if you missed last Monday's stream, I went live from Cocoa Beach, Florida. Ooh, and we watched the sunrise. Look at this beautiful shell. So pretty. Gorgeous. It has somebody's hair in it though. Okay. Oh, it's so gorgeous. We are going to chat about the book that I've been reading. So we are going to get some really, really great content. But I just want to take in the beach first before we get to chatting. And I see Lady Kirk, good morning. Hello, Lynette. We have Ghost Host here, Pete Stummy, Mark Mueller, Stephen Noon. We got some people already out on the beach doing some fishing. Got some people in the water there, swimming, bobbing along. And although it is cloudy, it is still beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. But thank you all so much for joining me on this lovely day. I do have off from work this week, which is super nice. So I figured, why not make the trip out? Pete does have some work to do here in Tampa, so I figure I would tag along and do a lovely morning stream here on the beach. As you can see, definitely a little cloudy, but it's still just a gorgeous, gorgeous morning. I'm gonna get my towel out. Got some things here. I want to get all situated, so bear with me. Okay. Ooh. Sorry, a little shaky. We got it. We got it. All right. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you've been around for a while, welcome back. Appreciate you being here. And just know this is a judgment-free zone. Come as you wish. Ask any questions in the chat. We have a very friendly community here, so please feel free to ask and chat along with us. But I want to acknowledge you all for being here, taking time out of your day to start out your week on a positive note, maybe even learn something new, a new perspective, a new way of looking at something. And I used to say, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. But I would invite you to, take what works for you and think deeper about what doesn't work for you. Something that doesn't resonate with you. Maybe you have to reconsider that perspective or ask yourself why maybe you don't fully resonate with that to begin with. Good morning, Captain Kirk. Welcome. And as you're coming in, please make sure you hit that like button. It does get the YouTube algorithm working, pumps out the stream to more and more people. And we want to share knowledge and spread positivity, so that would really help me out. And also consider subscribing. Turn on the bell for all notifications, because I might go live at a different time than scheduled, because normally I do go live every Monday morning around 6:30 in the morning from different Disney resorts. But recently I've been trying to branch out and get some other places around the Orlando area, just to kind of break it up a little bit, take in some new scenery. So definitely make sure you're subscribed. And I actually was thinking about going live from Disney Springs this morning. I know somebody had commented on my last stream that they thought Disney Springs would be a nice little walk around, which I actually made the thumbnail for. I was prepared to do it, but then my boyfriend Pete said that he had to come down here and do some work. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do that. I'll save the Disney Springs for another day. And it just really worked out because I'm off from work this week. So why not take in another beautiful, beautiful beach scene? And you all know I love the beach. So what I like to do sometimes is start out the stream. Captain Kirk, back at work, mentally still at Disney, love the beach, yes. What I like to do sometimes in the beginning of the stream is just give everyone a little quiet moment of reflection so you can set your intentions for the day. So I am going to give you some time to do that. Just reflect on your past week, what you are planning on doing and focusing on this week, and maybe having a moment of gratitude as well. So I'm going to let you watch the waves crash on the shore for that. But yes, thank you all again so much for being here. We are going to talk about the book that I have been reading. And if you've been around for the past couple of streams, you know that I've been reading David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. And as you know, I'm a big fan of David Goggins. So I'm going to be sharing some insights into his book. I'm about halfway through. And I'm just going to give you hey Pete, I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version of that. And like I always say, I'm not an expert on these things that I'm talking about. I am an English teacher, certified in special education as well. I'm a certified life coach. So I am bringing my perspective to the things that I read and the things that I experience and the podcasts I listen to and all that jazz. So again, I'm not a mental health specialist. I'm not a licensed therapist or anything like that, but I am just bringing to you my knowledge. Hey Peaches, good morning. Peaches is driving home from Florida currently, day 2, hoping everyone has a lovely day and week ahead. You as well, safe travels. So what I love about David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me, it's the first one that he wrote. He was self-published. And this book, although it is quite a lengthy book, he does get very in-depth. Hello, Adventures by Carney, welcome. He gets very in-depth on, his experiences that he had trying to become a Navy SEAL, the obstacles he had as a child. And I do want to share all of that with you. He also, at the end of each chapter, includes a little challenge or a little actionable activity for you to partake in as well. So I'm going to be sharing those. Hey, Eric. Good morning. So something that he was writing about, which I thought was very interesting, and we do this sometimes at the gym, but one of the last things I wrote down on my note cards was, he said, if you miss one rep, you start all over again. So he has the mentality of going all in, right? He actually went through Hell Week, becoming a Navy SEAL 3 times. The first 2 times he was medically taken out of that training, so it's not something that like he gave up on, but he had to go through the entire process all over again. So he has the mentality of, if you mess up one rep or you do one thing wrong, you have to go all in and do it again. And, you know, I agree with that to an extent, but I think that depending on what you're trying to do, right, sometimes it's very challenging to do the entire thing all over again. He says if he messes up one part of his workout, he'll just redo the whole workout. But it just shows his character. And again, I'm just sharing that knowledge with you. But I think there's something to be said about that, and it builds character, and you learn something along that process. Just obviously not wanting to do the hard things, but pushing yourself through it and persevering, it builds character and builds mental toughness. And that's really what the book is about, is being able to overcome life's challenges, and making yourself, you know, stepping into the uncomfortable times in order to build that mindset of mental toughness. And he says, if you step outside your comfort zone on a regular basis, you should be writing down the things that you don't like to do or that make you uncomfortable. Okay, so like writing down a list of things that, like, things you don't want to do, things that you know you probably should be doing, and then doing them. You know, picking one thing and then doing that thing over and over again. So maybe for some people it's making an uncomfortable like sales call, you know, and just picking up the phone is something that makes you feel uncomfortable. But if you do that over and over and over again, you're going to reap the rewards. Not only will you probably get that sale eventually, but now your mind is able to overcome that feeling of being uncomfortable making the call, and now it's something that maybe becomes a little bit easier. So you're not only gaining sales, but you're gaining confidence as well. So putting yourself in those uncomfortable moments are going to help you build confidence. We got a little seagull over here. Hey, buddy. I'm definitely going to be taking a dip in that water in a little bit, because it looks so lovely. So beautiful. So another like important little tidbit that Goggins says is, if you're trying to make like a big change in your life, right? It's better to start with those small, little sustainable changes, right? Something that you're going to be able to continue to do over a period of time. So if you jump in with, you know, both feet and it's not something that you're used to, the chances of you quitting that thing are a lot greater. Yeah, Pete's tummy, I like that. He says, that's an interesting point. I felt the same way when I had to call parents of my students, but I feel more confident about doing it. Right. The more you do it, the more you feel comfortable. Right? And then it's not an obstacle for you anymore. And it's something that you maybe, you know, excel in a little bit more. But making these changes at a micro level and doing something that he says, quote unquote, sucks every day, is going to help you just move the needle over a little bit, right? And we're going to make that improvement. And just as like human nature, right, we tend to always focus on our strengths rather than our weaknesses, right? We don't want to ever look bad. So we're always focusing on and doing the things that we do well, because it's easier, right? But if we push ourselves outside of our comfort zones and do those challenging things, eventually we'll get better at a lot more things. Captain Kirk says, don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done. Yes, a great David Goggins quote for sure. So by pushing through and focusing on your weaknesses instead of your strengths, your weaknesses will become your strengths, right? Just over time, building that confidence, building that mental toughness. And I loved this perspective too, that he talks about, like, in life, everything is a mind game, right? And it's something that I have been kind of focusing on a little bit more lately. Like, we have more control over things than we think we do. We have control over our thoughts and how we perceive things and how we, the energy that we choose to put out in the world. So when you think about it, everything in life is a mind game, right? And gaining control of that. So we forget that when we get swept up by, like, life's drama and all the bad things that are going on, but we don't take a second to realize that all bad things come to an end. And when we forget that, we give control over our emotions and actions to other people. So when we are unable to realize, like, this is a crappy time in my life and I am being reactionary and, letting my emotions and not controlling my emotions, we're giving other people control over our emotions. So that's just something to be aware of, and as just a gentle reminder, right? When we feel like we're getting swept up in something or we're feeling out of control, just taking a moment to center ourselves, take a deep breath and realize, okay, how can I control my thoughts, actions, behaviors moving forward so I don't allow other people to have that control over me? Pete Stummy says, another great point. While in college, my friends and I would practice music that we already knew. Yes, because it sounded good, but my professor said we were practicing wrong. Got to practice the stuff we don't know to get better at what we were playing. Exactly. And we all tend to do that, right? Especially when it comes to, practicing a sport or practicing a musical instrument, or even in the gym, doing a particular exercise that you find more something that you excel in, right? And we do this every day, whether we are aware of it or not, because it makes us feel good. We're like, yeah, I could do that thing. But that's not going to help us grow if we're staying in that comfortable arena. And I love that he also says the only way to get past something is to go through it, right? In order to break that barrier or that obstacle or that challenge, if you're avoiding it, you're never going to get past it. But if you go through it and learn from it, and that's the only way to get past it. Then what I found was so interesting, David Goggins, he's quite the guy. If you haven't listened to any of his, or I don't know if he has like his own podcast, but he's been on a ton of podcasts. And they also on YouTube have created like video compilations of things that he's said. So I watch them from time to time, but he talks about taking souls, right? Quote unquote, taking souls. And he describes it as like a ticket to finding your own reserve power and riding a second wind. So he talked a lot about this when he was going through Hell Week with his SEALs training. And he says it means that you've gained a tactical advantage over your opponent or your enemy or your adversary, whatever. But you know the terrain, you know yourself, you know your adversary, your enemy in detail. So when you quote unquote take souls, it's that moment of like everything clicks in your brain and you're like, I feel as though I'm tapped out. I don't know if I can go that extra step, that extra mile, but using what you know about your enemy or your opponent or that other person. I don't like to use the word enemy because it's a very negative connotation, but that's the word he uses. But to get that leg up or that edge on someone else is just going that that extra bit, finding your second wind to push through. So he says, in order to do this, you should also rehearse the answers to these questions before getting in that type of, I don't know, like event or engaging in that particular obstacle. So he says, you need to know the answer to the question, why am I here? And understanding why you're in the fight will help you to stay in the fight. Okay, so if you're someone, for example, someone who is trying to run a marathon, let's just say, right? And you have a certain time that you want to beat, or you look over and you're like, I just want to pace myself with that person, or I want to beat that person, or you're looking for a job promotion, right? And you want to get it over another person. It's in those moments where you're like about to quit, you're feeling the struggle, you want to tap out, but then you ask yourself, why am I here? Knowing your why and knowing what brought you to that moment is so powerful, because that is what's going to propel you to the finish line. Like, and we've all heard this before. I know I've spoken about it on the stream before, knowing your why, but that is a really important question to ask yourself, because then if you don't understand why you're doing that thing, you're going to give up, right? There's no motivation when the times get tough. You're gonna be like, yeah, why am I here? What am I doing? And then you stop, or you quit, or you don't make that other sales call, or, you know, stay late in order to impress your boss for that promotion, or you don't push through the pain or the cramping that you have when you're trying to run the race, right? Because you're like, I don't know why I'm here. But understanding the why is going to help you push through. Captain Kirk says, play it out mentally before you try it physically. Yes, 100%. And that's something that I spoke about on my last group coaching call. We talked about manifestation. And we're going to do, actually, in July, there's going to be a follow-up manifestation group coaching call. So if you're one of my Patreons, I have not set a date for that yet, but it is coming soon. It is going to be on a Monday, probably around 6 or 6:30. If you are not a Patreon, you can check that out by going to learningwithlaw.com, or you can go to patreon.com/learningwithlaw. And I have different levels there to show your support and your commitment to yourself. But with the top 2 tiers, you do get access to a 30-minute group coaching call that I do at least once a month. And like I said, this is for July. It's going to be a follow-up to that manifestation call, because it was so powerful and I couldn't get through everything that I wanted to talk about the last time. So I wanted to make kind of like a part 2 continuation of that. And we do talk about exactly what Captain Kirk talked about. Play it out mentally before you try it physically. That's going to help you to manifest those goals. So thank you for that beautiful segue. But yeah, also bringing me to my point of, and I talked about this on another stream, but I am offering a free resource to help you pause and reflect with some reflection questions, some affirmations. So if that's something that you're interested in, it's absolutely free. It's a free PDF that I can email to you. Just check out my email in the description below, or you can email Lauren, LAUREN .McTurk, MCTURK @gmail.com, and I will send that over to you for free, absolutely free, just for watching the stream. So there you go. That's my little plug. All right. So Goggins talks about another challenge. Okay. So it kind of ties into like the taking souls concept, right? You want to make your opponent or your hater or your doubter or whoever it is watch you achieve what they never could have done themselves. So you're going to take their negativity and use it to dominate the task, whatever it is, with everything that you've got, right? So you're using that as fuel. You're not using it to, you know, weaken your self-esteem, right? Some people let negative people or negative comments or people that are not supporting you just kind of mess with your head a little bit. So we're using it as fuel. All right. So stop seeing yourself as the victim of bad circumstances. Instead, see your life as the ultimate training ground. Okay? You are not the victim. You are training for a better life. And something that he really kind of drills into our heads is like, until you experience hardships in your life, your mind will remain soft and exposed. All right? And you'll allow those negative life experiences to, make you feel like the victim instead of using it to help callous your mind. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to take these experiences and bottle them up and just be like this hard, jaded person. What I'm saying is you're not letting those experiences define who you are, right? You're taking them, you're learning from them, you're working through them so that when life throws another challenge at you, you're able to tackle it head on without giving up or giving in, if that makes sense. And he even addresses that. Like, you can either build resentment and anger towards the world, or you can remain open and ready for more. And when you are ready for more, you're able to fight for your life and withstand hailstorms of pain. Right? You're able to withstand more of those hardships. And he also says, like, it's a good thing to remember those struggles and those hard times because you're in a better position to like persevere and choose fight over flight, right? If you know where you came from and where you've been and how you've struggled, you're able to overcome that. All right. I want to walk up to the ocean or the Gulf right now. So I'm going to hike up my pants. So I want to feel the water because maybe I'll take a little dip in a second. The sun is starting to peek out from the clouds. So let's see. I'm going to look like a crazy person because the way my pants are, but it's fine. Yeah, the water should definitely be warmer. So let's take a walk down here and see. Oh, it's so gorgeous. And like I said, I feel it. It's already, oh my goodness. It's like a bathtub. Wow. Yeah, it does feel much warmer than Cocoa Beach. I was going to say last week, if you missed that stream, we watched the sunrise last Monday morning over at Cocoa Beach, and we got a surprise rocket launch. It was amazing. So if you missed that, you definitely want to check that out after this stream. Wow, this water is so warm. It's ridiculous. And we got some shells here in the water too, which is nice. It's gorgeous. It's crazy how it feels like somebody warmed up the water in like a teapot and just poured it here in the ocean. It's so beautiful. Oh my goodness. And I don't know, it's showing up very like dark on the stream over there, but it's not as dark as it looks. We got the sun peeking out behind us. So nice. Beautiful. Yeah, definitely taking a dip in that in a little bit. I'll do it towards the end of the stream. So I'm not, because it is a little windy, like it feels nice, but I feel like once I get, wet from the water and come out, it might be a little bit chilly, because I'm always cold, just a cold person, but it's so nice. So nice. Got some pretty shells. I have so many shells in my apartment, I can't take any more home. But I feel like I'm definitely going to do a little walk later and look for some. Because I'm at the beach. How do I not look for shells? Come on now. Oh boy. It just smells so amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here and hanging out. We do have more to chat about, but I just wanted to just take a minute to take it all in. I love that there are some people out already, but it's obviously not crowded. So it is nice to just have just some families out, just enjoying the morning already before the hustle and bustle of the day. So nice. But back to David Goggins. So he also says that it's up to you to go back through your past and make peace with yourself by facing those events from your past and all the negative things that happened to you, and just accept them, right? As just moments of weakness or things that happen to you, and make peace with it. Because only when you identify and accept them will you stop running from your past, right? Just like I said before, if you're avoiding something, an obstacle, right, you're never going to get past it. You need to go through it in order to move beyond it, right? And that's the same thing with your past and your traumas. If you're not working through them, if you're not identifying them and making peace with the things that happened, they're going to just continue to follow you. Ooh, hello. The birds are always near me, always coming to hang out. I don't have any food, but this does make for a nice little picture, a little screenshot right here. So another challenge that David Goggins poses in his book is to visualize. And again, going to be talking about this on the group coaching call because it really ties in with manifesting your goals. But he says to visualize the things you can change before you engage in any obstacle or set a new goal. He wants you to visualize yourself actually overcoming the obstacle. Okay, because not everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows. We know this. But if you can visualize yourself going through the challenge, whatever it may be, you're more likely to deal with it in a positive way when you actually encounter that thing. So he says to paint a picture of what success looks and feels like. And also visualize the challenge and determine how you will attack those problems. So this is almost like you're planning backwards, right? You know where you want to go and what are the challenges and things that you're going to confront along the way, right? And if you are able to determine how you're going to deal with those problems, right, the more likely you will be to overcome them. So he's saying that's more of a strategic visualization. Let me see if I can lay down here. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Beautiful. So then he says, while you're doing this, you should be able to answer these 3 questions. Okay. So why are you doing this? Again, it comes back to that why. We talked about that earlier. What is driving you towards this? So basically, like, what's motivating you to do this? What's pushing you towards this specific challenge, goal, whatever? Where does this darkness you are using as fuel come from? Because we all have that somewhere, right? Whether it's wanting to prove someone wrong, whether it's to prove to ourselves that we're worthy, whatever that may be. As much as you try and deny it, that's gonna still be there at the end of the day. Hey, Debbie Diaz, welcome. And then what has calloused your mind? Okay, so what events have made you a little bit more tougher in this situation? Oh, hello. Because being able to recognize those challenges in your life, right, is going to help you prove to yourself, okay, I've been through some tough stuff. I am able to overcome another challenge or obstacle or whatever the case may be. So something I love that he says, and I feel like I use this way of thinking when I go to the gym and things like that. But he says it takes relentless self-discipline to schedule suffering into your day every day. But if you do, you'll find that at the other end of that suffering is a whole new life just waiting for you. So it doesn't mean that you are like deliberately doing horrible things to yourself to like prove anything or to make you a more like mentally tough person, but you're doing things that, you know, are maybe not fun, but are good for you, right? He's not saying like go do like violent acts on yourself. He is saying you need to put yourself out of your comfort zone in order to reap the rewards later. And I thought this was interesting too, because this has definitely happened to me many a times, but usually when we're inspired to do something difficult, we're usually in a quote unquote soft environment. You're usually sitting on the couch and your friend texts you and says, hey, we should run like the Disney half marathon. And you're like, oh yeah, like as you're eating some Doritos and just sitting on your couch. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do it. That's your soft environment, right? And then obviously the day of the race, when you have to wake up at 3 a.m. and get ready to go, you're like, oh damn, you know, did I anticipate all of this, right? So there's nothing wrong with being inspired in those soft environments, but it's just interesting that, you know, we usually get inspired in those moments. So it's important to realize, okay, what is my why? I'm not going to run this half marathon because it's fun. That's not my why, because that's not going to keep me going when I'm in that difficult, challenging position. Because he says that the only answer you're likely to find when you're in that moment of struggle is one that will make it stop as fast as possible, right? So in those soft environments, you need to also have like a hard why or a large understanding of why you're doing this, so that when you're not in that soft environment anymore, you're in the challenge, you're able to stay strong and push through. I thought that was so interesting because I feel like we can all relate to that, right? You'll get like a really good idea, you'll get inspired to do something, and it's not when you're like swimming laps at the pool. I mean, maybe it is when you're swimming laps at the pool, but you're doing something that is more soft, right? But understanding what is driving you to do this and holding on to that is going to help you when you feel like quitting or giving up. I'm obsessed with this view right now. It's so beautiful. If you haven't already hit that thumbs up, please do, just for the views. I mean, come on. Even if you're watching this with the sound off or very, very low, it's worth it for the views. And I love this perspective too that he has. Whenever you're feeling low or like beat down or depressed or just like not yourself, he says to think of a time or two when you've overcome odds and have tasted success, right? Because holding on to those successes is what's going to make it more likely that you're going to try new things in the future. And we all need small sparks in our lives or small accomplishments to fuel the big ones. Like, you know that you've done this before, you can get through it. And I'm thinking about Pete Stummy and the phone calls, right, to his parent phone calls. He's gotten through so many of them that now he feels good about it, so he can go to that parent-teacher conference and not be as nervous, or, you know, have that one-on-one parent meeting that maybe you're nervous about. But because you've had those small little victories along the way, you're building that confidence. So we need to draw inspiration to push through our exhaustion, depression, pain, misery, whatever the case may be. Knowing where we've come from and the successes that we've had will help us in getting through the other crap that we're dealing with. And sometimes that's hard for us to do. I know for myself, I tend to forget my like small wins and victories. I'm like, oh yeah, I did do this. Like, what am I talking about? I could do this. I've overcome some stuff. I've succeeded in other areas. Like, I am capable of this. But sometimes we are afraid to either talk about those things to others or even to ourselves because we don't want to come across as like braggy or, you know, not being humble. But we still need to celebrate the good times. Nobody wants to hear you complain about the bad times. We'd rather hear about some good things going on in your life. I think that makes sense. So I love this, and this is very David Goggins-esque. He says, we need to spark a bunch of small fires to become and I'm going to censor it, but I'll say the initials, MF Inferno, right? We need to spark a bunch of small fires to become an MF Inferno. Love it. And he says this as one of the challenges, right? To take inventory of your wins. So he says journal about them. Write down the life obstacles you've overcome. You can set ambitious goals before each workout, maybe about a promotion or big things that you want to maybe like monetarily achieve in your career. And he says it's to remember what a badass you are so you can use that energy to succeed again in the heat of battle, right? It's not like a ooh, I'm better than everyone else. It's no, this is inventory of my successes, and I'm going to use this moving forward to fuel me. I love that so much. I think that's great. And that's something I want to do. I did bring a journal, so I'm going to be journaling after this, probably on the beach. I'm just hoping that the weather holds up because it is starting to change a little bit. Good morning, Shaquille. Yeah, they did say it was gonna rain at some point today. So we'll see what happens. That sun went back behind the clouds over there. So I don't know. I would like to take a dip, but it is getting a little cooler. I know, Captain Kirk, I'm not excited about that. I'm gonna try and find like a little coffee shop or a bookstore to hang out in. I did not have my Starbucks this morning, so I definitely need to get an espresso in there. Hello, Rose. Good morning. Thanks for being here. But I do want to walk down by the water again just to feel it, because I am just so impressed by the temperature of the water is crazy. Yes, beautiful views, right? I don't want to get my pants wet. And just as soon as I get to like the sand that's a little bit lower, you could just feel the warmth of the water already. So nice. Happy Monday. Looks a little spooky down there. I don't know. I'm glad we did this this early, guys, because it is changing. I'm feeling the winds coming in, little storm winds. Yeah, it's so nice, so nice. Maybe we'll walk up and down the beach. I think that would be a good idea. I am starting to feel some droplets though. I'm getting a little concerned, but let's do a little walk and see what happens. Bring my towel. But I'm just happy to be here because honestly, even if it does rain, I'm just glad we got to do this. It's my day off. Get to enjoy seeing another beach, right? Because this is not in my backyard at all. Wait, let me just put this down so I can get myself situated. All right. Let's do a little bit of walking. Oh yeah, I'm feeling those raindrops. I don't think I'm getting in the water, guys. It's so unfortunate. At least I got my feet in there. Yes, I know, Captain Kirk. I want to definitely like spend a night either out here or in Sarasota and then do an earlier like morning stream. It's just hard to get here before the sunrise because I do live quite a way from here, quite a ways away from here. So we'll see, but I would love to do a sunrise here, even though it's not going to be like over the water, just to see the beach before the sun comes up. Oh, I can't believe how warm it is. It's so ridiculous. I'd say it's like 85, 86 degrees, maybe more. Ooh. Look at this beautiful shell. I get excited with the shells, guys. If you haven't already hit the like button, please do. Please do. Consider subscribing, maybe even becoming a Patreon. I appreciate all my Patreons. And guess what, guys? We are so close to being monetized on YouTube. I'm really excited. So definitely, please make sure you watch the full stream. If you want to turn on the stream again later, maybe you missed a stream here or there, go back and watch. We're so close to being monetized. I'm very excited, and I appreciate all of you for being here, especially, you know, my supporters that have been here since the beginning. I really appreciate you guys. And we are so close. So close. Captain Kirk says Sarasota, Longboat, Venice are also great. Yes, I would love to. Walk to Don Caesar. Peter, I don't know where that is, or Treasure Island. I feel like it's far and it's about to start raining. Bill says, just hit the like button. Thank you. And Pete says, I'm at work. Sorry, I am in and out. No worries. Thank you, Peter. But yeah, I'm feeling some droplets, but it's okay. We're gonna just keep it going. A little rain never hurt anyone. And I think it looks so cool on the stream too. Just the beach, the waves, the crazy looking sky. Yes, thank you, Captain Kirk. We're close. And YouTube has like 2 different levels too. So I'm close to being able to receive like super chats and memberships. And then I have a little bit more to go for the ads, but we're very close. So I'm very excited. It looks like this is where, I mean, there's a lot more hotels down here, and they have like a big inflatable over here. They have all their beach chairs out and stuff like that. Thanks so much, Rose. Appreciate you. We got some birds over here. A little snowy egret. Hey, Rebecca, welcome. She says, good morning. I'm actually awake for one of these. Yes, I did a little later stream today just because of where we are. So I'm glad you were able to make it. Thanks. So these are one of the birds that I usually see by the lake in Celebration. It's a snowy egret. Just hanging out by the water, trying to catch some fish. And those look like an ibis maybe over there. Looks like an ibis. And for those that don't know, birds are, ooh, it's a love-hate thing with birds and me. They get a little too close. They've attacked me on more than one occasion, but I don't know. Some people call me Snow White. I don't know. It's just the life that I have come to live here. It's just, look how gorgeous. Oh my God. Definitely worth a screenshot right there. Oh, we got another bird. Wow. So cool. It just feels so weird because the wind is like a mix of like a warm and a cool breeze, and then the water is so warm. So nice. I do think I am going to turn and walk the other direction. We'll still be on the coast of the water. I just don't want to get caught in the rain with the gimbal. But this is another beautiful view too. Thanks so much, Captain Kirk. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic week. It's the 4th of July week. So I hope you all have some wonderful plans for Friday. Right, and we're enjoying that weekend. We'll be live again on Monday. Probably back by Disney. So after the stream, please feel free to leave any suggestions in the comments below of where you'd like to see me go live. I usually go to one of the Disney resorts. Ooh, look at that big shell. Not sure if I'm able to, actually, I know I'm not going to be able to go live from Disney Springs because of like the time that they open. I actually am going to be working. So another really nice shell. But we could save the Disney Springs stream for another time. But any suggestions of resorts that you'd like me to go to, definitely leave it in the comments after the stream has finished, just so I can come back to it and see it. Would be great. I know that, I've gone live from basically all of the resorts, I feel like, at one point or another. But any resort like the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian, even the Contemporary have really great sunrise views. So just let me know. Or just other places. I've done Shades of Green and kind of walked around there. We just did Port Orleans, I feel like 2 weeks ago. So let me know. Let me know where your favorite spot is. And I will try my best to make it over there. I wish I could just bottle this water and let you guys like feel how warm it is, because it's really ridiculous. I'm so happy to be here. So grateful that I was able to make it out and just put my feet in the sand. And if you are not near a beach, find some time in your day today to do a little grounding, right? That's basically just means to put your feet in the ground. Don't judge my pedicure. I need a new pedicure. But just putting your feet in the sand, in the soil, in the grass, just for a few seconds helps you to just regulate your body and your energy. It just makes you feel really good. So if you have time today, even if you get outside for just 5 minutes and put your feet in the grass, it really helps to soothe your mind and your body. Makes you feel good. The beach gives you the negative ions, which are so good for you. So take a minute today and do that. You know what? I'm just going to get in the water. Why not? I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it, guys. Just as a great way to end the stream, I need to get in this water. We're here, We're here. Let me just get a towel for the gimbal. Oh, let me make it flat so it doesn't fall over. Oh, see, this is not good. Okay. All right, here we go. It's so beautiful. Oh my God. It was so nice. It's so warm, but it's not as warm when you get out. Was it as warm as a hot tub? Not exactly. When you get fully in there. No, but it feels so great. It's just the wind is very chilly, so once you get out, it's a little bit cooler, but it was so nice. Gotta love the water, gotta love the ocean. It's so good for your bod. Well, I just want to thank you all so much. Whoop. I look like a crazy person. Thank you all so much for being here with me, for hitting the like button, for subscribing, and for some of you for being a Patreon. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you for taking the time out of your Monday to start out on the right foot, starting out in a positive note, and just getting ready for the week ahead. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Go out there, crush those goals, and have a wonderful and very happy 4th of July. I will see you back here next Monday at 6:30 a.m. I don't know where I'll be, but give me those suggestions in the comments down below once the stream has finished. Thank you, Captain Kirk. Thank you so much. Thank you all for hanging out with me this Monday morning. I got some water in my eye, but it'll be fine. It's fine. Just send positive vibes as far as the weather goes, because I am going to be out here for a little bit. But yes, I will see you all next week. Thank you so much. And remember, you belong here. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. All right? Thank you, Lady Kirk. Yes, happy 4th of July. But let me turn it back around so you can take a look at the gorgeous ocean once more. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. And I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.